Welcome to Childcare Licensing's Independent Training Series. This training is on Commercial Preschool Rules, Section 13. My name is Kat Martinez, and I'm a trainer in Childcare Licensing. This training is about 10 minutes long and can count as non-face-to-face or independent training credit. Section 13 is Child Safety and Injury Prevention. The provider shall ensure that the building, outdoor area, toys, and equipment are used in a safe manner and as intended by the manufacturer to prevent injury to children. Inaccessible means out of reach of children. Specifically, locked, such as in a locked room, cupboard, or drawer. When locks that do not require a key or combination, such as a hook and eye, are used, they must be at least 60 inches high. Secured with a child safety device, such as a child safety cupboard, lock, or doorknob device. Behind a properly secured child safety gate. Or located in a cupboard or on a shelf that's at least 36 inches above the floor. In bathrooms, at least 36 inches above any surface from where a child could stand or climb on. Harmful objects and hazards, such as the following, shall be inaccessible to children. The provider shall ensure that poisonous and harmful plants are inaccessible to children. The provider shall ensure that sharp objects, edges, corners, or points that could cut or puncture skin are inaccessible to children. Choking hazards. The provider shall ensure that choking hazards are inaccessible to children younger than 3 years old. A choking hazard is a small object with a diameter of less than 1¼ inch and a length of less than 2¼ inch. Any object that fits all the way in the choke tube here and doesn't poke out at all would be considered a choking hazard. Children younger than 3 years old may use materials smaller than the approved size, such as art materials like broken crayons, uncooked pasta, but only in carefully supervised activities where the caregiver is within arm's reach of the child. The provider shall ensure that strangulation hazards, such as ropes, cords, chains, and wires attached to a structure and long enough to encircle a child's neck, are inaccessible to children. The provider shall ensure that tripping hazards, such as unsecured flooring, rugs with curled edges, or cords in the walkways, are inaccessible to children. The provider shall ensure that empty plastic bags large enough for a child's head to fit inside, latex gloves, and latex balloons are inaccessible to children younger than 5 years old. The provider shall ensure that standing water that measures 2 inches or deeper and 5 by 5 inches or greater in diameter is inaccessible to children. This does not include fish bowls, pet bowls for drinking, or toilets. The provider shall ensure that toxic or hazardous chemicals such as cleaners, insecticides, lawn products, and flammable, corrosive, and reactive materials are inaccessible to children, used according to the manufacturer instructions, stored in containers labeled with the contents of the container, and disposed of properly. Batteries are corrosive and must be inaccessible. Products that are used on the body do not need to be inaccessible, like diaper cream, hand sanitizer, and lotion. But products used on other surfaces do need to be inaccessible, like window cleaners and dish soap. The provider shall ensure that the following items are inaccessible to children: matches or cigarette lighters, open flames, hot wax or other substances, and when in use, portable space heaters, wood-burning stoves, and fireplaces. The provider shall ensure that the following items are inaccessible to children: live electrical wires, and for children younger than 5 years old, electrical outlets and surge protectors without protective caps or safety devices when not in use. Unless used and stored in compliance with the Utah Concealed Weapons Act or is otherwise allowed by law, the provider shall ensure that firearms such as guns, muzzle loaders, rifles, shotguns, handguns, pistols, and automatic guns are locked in a cabinet or area using a key combination lock or fingerprint lock, and stored unloaded and separate from ammunition. The provider shall ensure that weapons such as paintball guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, slingshots, arrows, and mace are inaccessible to children. The provider shall ensure that alcohol, illegal substances, and sexually explicit materials are inaccessible and not used on the premises during offsite activities or in center vehicles anytime a child is in care. The provider shall ensure that an outdoor source of drinking water, such as individually labeled water bottles, a pitcher of water, and individual cups, or a working water fountain, is available to each child when the outside temperature is 75 degrees or higher. The provider shall ensure that areas accessible to children are free of heavy or unstable objects that children could pull down on themselves, such as furniture, unsecured televisions, and standing ladders. The provider shall ensure that hot water accessible to children does not exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Clean Air Act. The provider shall ensure that tobacco, e-cigarettes, e-juice, e-liquids, and similar products are inaccessible and in compliance with the Utah Indoor Clean Air Act. So they're not used in the facility or any other building when a child is in care, in any vehicle that is being used to transport a child in care, within 25 feet of an entrance to the facility or other building occupied by a child in care, or in any outdoor area or within 25 feet of an outdoor area occupied by a child in care. Thank you for completing this online training. If you have further questions, please reach out to one of our trainers. And thank you for everything you do for Utah's children.